Namaste and a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you to my channel, The Outlier. My name is Mithun. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to use the select cases option in SPSS. Even before I proceed to demonstrate how to use the select cases option in SPSS, may I request you to subscribe to my channel, also like and share my videos. Let's begin by asking a simple question. Why and when do we use the select cases? To answer this question, let's imagine that you have all India level data with different states and union territories. For the purpose of your analysis, you want to specifically pull out only the state of Karnataka. You want to select only the state of Karnataka and focus your analysis on the state of Karnataka. How do you do this? This is where you can specify a filter condition and say state equals Karnataka. This will pull out all those records which belong to the state of Karnataka, and you can create a new data set and perform advanced analysis on this. This is what we will be learning in today's video. The first thing that I need to do to show how select cases option works is to load the data set in SPSS. How do I load the data in SPSS? Let me go to the file menu. In the file menu bar, I will go to recently used data. Here, SPSS displays the 10 recently used files. I'll click on the very first option, namely employee data. The moment I click on this particular file, you can see here SPSS loads the file which I had specified. You can see here there are 6 columns: employee ID, employee gender, birth date, job category, salary, and minority or not. Let's look at the first employee. His employee ID is 1, gender equals male, birth date is 2nd March 1952, job category is managerial, salary is $57,000, and minority equals no. What is the sample size in this data? The sample size in this data is 474 records. So we have employee details of 474 employees. Now, with this data, I want to specifically select only the males. Let's focus on this particular variable, gender. As you can see here, what you're seeing is the value label male. When I click on the icon called as value labels, you can see the value is just M. Males have been coded with the letter small m and females have been coded with the letter small f. Why I am saying this is because in the select condition, you have to specify the value and not the value label. So we will be specifically selecting wherever gender equals M. Let me go back to value labels. You can see SPSS displays the full description of the value. Let me now show you how to navigate to the select cases option. To access the select case option, you can go to the data menu bar. The last but one option here is select cases. So this is the option that you need to select to specify a filter condition. If we go ahead and click on this particular option, what this does is it opens up a new dialog box. The name of this dialog box is the select cases dialog box. In the left-hand side, you can see SPSS displays all the variable names. And the right-hand side, you can see there are 2 sections. The first section is the select section. And the second section here is the output section. There are 5 options under the select button, and there are 3 options under the output section. Let me go over each and every option. The first option here is all cases. This is as good as not selecting any record with a specific query, this will select each and every record. We are not applying any filter. This will perform the analysis on all the 474 records. The second option is where bulk of the work happens. It says if condition is satisfied. If you want to put a filter condition, you can use the second option from the top, namely if condition is satisfied. Let's now focus on the third option, random sample of cases. Let us say you're performing analysis and you want to draw 10% of the cases. You want to select a sample of 10% of the cases. This is where random sample of cases helps us. The next option here is select based on time or case range. In case you have last 10 years of data and you want to focus your analysis, you want to limit your analysis on only 2021 data. Because you want to focus on only 2021 data or the last year data, what you can do here is you can specify a range saying 1st Jan 2021 to 31st January 2021. So this is a selection which happens either based on time or case. When I say case, I'm referring to the ID variable here. The fifth option here is what is called as the use filter variable. This is mostly useful if in your data set you have a dichotomous variable with 1 and 0. You can specify the dichotomous variable here. SPSS will select only those records which have a value of 1. So in the first section, we have seen the select cases. Let's now proceed to see the output section. Here you have 3 choices. The output section tells as to how you're going to treat the cases after selection. The first choice that you have is to filter out unselected cases. So all those cases which are not selected in the filter will be removed. For example, if you specify gender equals male, automatically what this does is it will filter out or remove women employees from the data set. Let's choose the second option, copy selected cases to a new data set. What this would do is it would specifically copy only the selected cases. Let us say male employees, and you can go ahead to create a new data set called as male. The third option is slightly dangerous. This option is to delete unselected cases. As the name itself suggests, delete unselected cases will remove all those cases which do not satisfy the filter criteria. Let me go with the default settings here. Now, I will be showing you how to apply a simple filter condition. The second option from the top is if condition is satisfied. Let me choose this particular button. Here you have a small button which says if button. Let me go ahead and select the if button. This will open up a new dialog box. In this dialog box, to the left side, you can select gender and push this in the box to the right side. You can specify gender equals M as the filter criteria. This is very important. We are specifying the value and not the value label. Why is it? The value label is only for display purpose. It is only for the reader to see what is the label. The actual value in the variable that is stored is M, the letter M. Also observe that this is a string data type, and therefore any string data type has to be enclosed within double quotes. So in this case, we are specifying gender equals M. Let me go ahead and click on continue, and then I'll hit on the OK button. You can see here, this is the output window of SPSS. The output window does not print much. Let me now go to the data editor. You can clearly see here the first row is selected. The second row is also selected because the first two records belong to male employees. Look at the third and the fourth record. These cases are struck off. You can see here, SPSS indicates that the third and the fourth record are struck off, and therefore these two records will not be selected for further analysis. Now, let me select the variable gender, right click on this and choose sort ascending. You can see here, the moment I choose sort ascending, all the female employees and their records are appearing right at the top. SPSS indicates that all the women employees are struck off. They will not be used for further data analysis. When I scroll down, you can see these are all the male employees. Each of these records are selected, indicating that the male employees information will be used for further analysis. Here, you're able to see the changes in the data editor window itself. You can go back to the data menu, choose the option select cases. The earlier filter condition that we had put, that is gender equals M, is still active. Note that in the output section, by default, the first option is available. That is, filter out unselected cases. Let us say you want to copy this in a new data set. Copy selected cases to a new data set. You can specify the name of the new data set, and a new data set will be created for you. I will not select this particular option and go with the default settings. This is about the second option if condition is satisfied. Let's now examine the third condition, random sample of cases. Even before I proceed to the random sample of cases, I would like to reset all the options and then choose random sample of cases. Here you have a button which is called as the sample button. Let me go ahead and select the sample button. This will open up a small dialog box which is called as the random sample dialog box. There are two options here. Either you can choose a percentage of all cases. Let us say you want to select 10% of the cases, in which case you can say 10. What this does is approximately 10% of all the cases will be selected. Or the second option that you have is you can specify the actual number of cases to be selected. You can say exactly dash cases from the first dash cases. Here you can say exactly 10 cases from the first 50 cases. So that's a second option that you have. I'll go with the second option, namely approximately 10% of the cases. 10% may be lesser. So let me go with 50% of the cases. So 50% of the original sample size, that is 474. These many cases will be selected. 50%, let me say continue. I'm now going to say copy the selected cases to a new data set. Here, I'm going to say sample underscore 50p, implying only 50% of the cases is what I am selecting. So new data set with the name of sample underscore 50p will be created. Let me now click on OK. You can see here, SPSS has struck off a lot of cases which has not been selected. But what is of interest to me is when I click on the SPSS icon, you can see here, there is a file which is the source file employee data, and a new data set called as sample underscore 50p is created. Let me select this particular data. Here you can see this is a new data set Please observe the name of the data set. It says sample underscore 50p. Let me look at the number of records. In fact, I'm going to go to the last record here, which says 238. 50% of 474 is roughly 237. And therefore, what SPSS has done is it is given you a random sample of 50% of the cases. So this is how a random sample of a specific percentage of cases can be drawn. I'm going to go back to the original data set. I'm going to show you the other way of selecting. Let me now go to data, select cases. You have these three options. We have seen all cases, if condition is specified, a random sample of cases. I'm going to reset each of these things and select the fourth case based on time or case range. Let me choose the option range here. In the range, I can say select observation number 1 to the 10th observation. What this would do is it would select the first 10 records. I'm going to say continue and then click on OK. This is the output window. You'll not be able to see the changes in the output window. I will be now going to the data editor window to show you the impact of what I have done. This is the data editor window. You can see here, the first record has been selected. Second and third records have also been selected. If you proceed in this manner, you can see the first 10 records have been selected. If I scroll down from the 11th record, all of these cases are struck down because these cases will not be utilized for further analysis. So this is how you can use the select case or select range and specify only the desired number of cases. That was about the fourth option. Now I'll go back to the data menu, choose select cases. Let me open up this dialog box. The last option that you have is to use the filter variable. It is to use the filter variable. Let me firstly reset and then select use the filter variable. Here, I'm going to use, let us say, minority variable. So far, I've not used the variable minority. Let me use the variable minority classification and specify that particular variable. Remember, the minority variable has two values. When I click on the value labels, you can see there are a few values for 0 and the rest of the values are 1. Let us specify minority classification and then hit the OK button. Let me go back to the original data. You can clearly see here, this is the variable that we had specified as the filter condition. Wherever the values are 0, the first few values here are 0, and SPSS has clearly struck off the first 6 records. The 7th record has been selected because the minority value here equals 1. For better understanding, let me select the variable minority, right-click and choose sort ascending. You can see here, the moment I choose sort ascending, all the zeros will be lined up right at the top, and each of these records have been struck off. There are so many zeros which have been struck off, and against 1, you can see they have been selected. What in case you want to delete all these zeros from your data set? How do you work on that? Let me go to the data menu bar, choose the option select cases. This is the new dialog box, which is called as select cases. You have the option of delete unselected cases. This is slightly dangerous because it will remove all the zeros in the variable minority. Very difficult to get it back once you remove these cases. Let me select this option, delete unselected cases, and hit the OK button. Now I'll be going to the data editor window. You can see here in the variable minority, you have only ones. You have barely 104 cases of 474 cases. All the zeros have been eliminated. This is how select cases can be used to do a variety of tasks. You can either specify a filter condition, you can randomly select a percentage of cases, you can remove the cases which you do not want to see, you can apply the filter based on a range or time frame, and therefore select cases is one of the most popular options in the data preparation stage. With this, I have come to the end of today's video. In today's video, we've seen extensively as to how we can use the select case option in SPSS. I thank you very much for watching this particular video. I request you to subscribe to my channel, also like and share my videos. Thank you very much once again. Have a great day ahead.